It's time for another edition of Transfer Thursday. Woody Wommack and Mike Farrell. Mike, the portal is heating up. We got a busy week. Started off right away. Clemson running back Lyn-J Dixon, former four-star, hit the portal. Pretty clear he fell out of favor. Will Shipley kind of passed him on the depth chart, but this is a productive guy who looked like he had star potential there.
Yeah, he's shown he can do it. You know, he was a backup to Travis Etienne. He's got over 1,000 yards in Power 5. C.J. Spiller and he didn't see eye to eye. He was told to grow up last week, and he grew up right into the portal. I don't know if he was ushered there or, you know, if this was his idea. But, you know, you look at Oklahoma State where he originally looked at, Tennessee where he was originally committed to. This is different than the spring portal and the summer portal, though, because they've got time. You know, now they can sort of see how the season plays out, and you don't have to jump to another team immediately. But as we reach this 4-game, as you know, this 4-game plateau, the Martavis Bryant, so to speak, 4-game plateau, you're going to see a lot more of these kids jumping in.
Yeah, and of course, once he hits the portal, all of a sudden the reports of, you know, oh, he was in the doghouse. It's like, why don't you tell me that before he hits? Can someone let me know? Like, let's be proactive on that and let us know why he wasn't. Because I was watching them play, and I was like, why isn't Lyn-J Dixon playing at all?
Well, the baby stuff came out before he officially hit the portal, but obviously it was, you know, there was something there where he's not happy. He got passed over on the depth chart, as you mentioned, and you know, listen, I don't know C.J. Spiller anymore. Knew him in high school, but I imagine he doesn't play, and he's very proud of, you know, the running back tradition at Clemson. And this guy didn't fit.
So I went down real quick when he was in high school. He was from way down in the middle of nowhere, like maybe like 3 or 4 hours from my house, and he was on this team with a quarterback who went to Troy, and he's still there. Actually, that would be my guess on where he ends up.
Troy.
If I had to guess. But anyway, the kid's dad was the sheriff of the county. So I remember I was running late to the game, and I texted the kid's dad. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. If you get pulled over, just give me a call.
Nice.
I was hauling ass down there in Butler County or wherever it was in South Georgia. But I went to that game, and he was awesome to watch in person. Super shifty, and obviously he had more than 1,000 yards in college. So I think a team would gladly take him. But I don't know. I mean, the way it shook out is kind of surprising to me. So that's one to watch. Moving on, Oregon State picks up former four-star Andrew Chatfield, a productive player at Florida. We talked about him when he hit the portal. Oregon State does a lot of work in the portal. I like this addition, even though it's pretty far from home for him.
Yeah, you know, it's almost one of those things where he's a tweener at the SEC level, but a perfect fit in the Pac-12, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. But, you know, you're dealing with a whole different set of athletes. You're dealing with a whole different size of athlete. And Chatfield was very effective, you know, at times as an undersized defensive end and not a great stand-up linebacker. And he, you know, the one knock against him was he wasn't long. So Oregon State's been a pretty good program by their standards over the last couple of years, and they've done a good job at the portal. So, you know, it is kind of a long distance to travel, but I think he's going to be a good fit for Pac-12 and for what they do defensively versus what Florida wanted to do.
Yeah, and this is the kind of guy that Oregon State needs. I mean, they just need talent on the roster. We've seen them, you know, they took a lot of the Nebraska defectees and
Calabrasca.
Yeah, Calabrasca. Chatfield's a nice addition. So good job, Beavs. Moving on, Lane Kiffin had some transfer comments. He decided to take some shots at maybe shots. I don't know how we'll read them. We'll read up his quote here. He said that Alabama, now they get to cherry pick players for any holes they may have, like an Ohio State receiver, which would be Jameson Williams, or a Tennessee linebacker like Henry To'o. Now it's not only like they get the best draft picks, but they get to go into free agency and take players. So it's really going to set up one of the most talented teams ever, which is why we're getting ready to play. Thoughts, Mike?
Well, I mean, people are saying, Alabama went on the road and struggled. They barely won. This is not an elite football team, all this other garbage. And Saban's going to use that to his advantage. Kiffin knows rat poison. He coached under Saban. He's psychological warfare. He's saying this is a very, very talented roster. So don't give me this garbage about, that this isn't your typical Alabama team that could just run through the SEC, go undefeated, win a national championship. That, they're very talented. And Jamison Williams, they needed a speedy slot guy because they had a lot of freshman wide receivers, and obviously Mechie's an outside guy. They went and got Jamison Williams. He's panned out pretty well. And then the big battle for Henry To'oTo'o with Ohio State. He's okay. These guys aren't world breakers. We're not talking about first rounders here. So I get what Kiffin's doing. He's not dumb, but Kiffin is playing the game. I mean, this is what he does, and it's smart to do. He's counteracting what the antidote to rat poison is, saying that Alabama is not good. So he's trying to counteract the antidote to rat poison and spread some rat poison around and make them think they're good. I don't know. None of it matters. It's just fun to talk about.
I'm so sick of the rat poison thing.
I love the rat poison. I don't know why.
Ever. So, all right, real quick before we wrap up, we only got like a minute left, Mike. A couple quarterbacks quit this week. Charlie Brewer had transferred from Baylor to Utah. He was the starter. He won the starting job. He ends up getting benched for another transfer from Texas, and now he quit the team. Went in and quit the team. And Bailey Hockman, who had been at Florida State, NC State, went to MTSU, also got benched halfway through his game, and he's quitting the sport altogether. So, what do you think of these guys, Mike?
Well, Charlie Brewer was a good quarterback at Baylor. He was fun to watch under Matt Rule. He got knocked around. The concussions were scary. He came back. He gave it a shot at Utah, lost the job. Now I don't know what the market is for him. It's certainly not Power 5 anymore to me. He's going to have to drop down if he wants to continue playing and clear medical too, as he did when he went to Utah. But Bailey Hockman was just never good. I'm sorry. That was a typical example of Florida State recruiting players that weren't Florida State caliber at the quarterback position. And now he's at the Group of 5 level and he can't compete there. And so, I mean, people get upset with these guys quitting on their football teams, but come on. I mean, if you're at MTSU and you lose the starting job or you can't break the lineup as a starter, maybe it's time to give up.
All right. I wish you would have given up talking a few seconds earlier so we could have got under the 10-minute mark, but that's okay.
Ouch.
I'll do some creative editing. All right, that wraps it up for Transfer Thursday. We'll be back with another episode next week. Be sure to follow Mike and follow the Rivals Portal account for the latest in portal news. Bye, Mike.
See ya.